Welcome back to Evony with Genghis on server 68. Wow, 502 Viking axes. So that is how, that shows that I hit a lot of Vikings the last 3 days. So you could see the benefits to killing Vikings as you get tons of materials and tons of gold and tons of research stones, and I can never get enough of them. Nobody can. So today, what I want to talk to you about is troop speed. So here, ground troop speed and mounting troop speed. These are very misunderstood books. So someone asked me to do a video on this, and I'm actually probably going to put one on Joseph Johnson. I'm probably going to get rid of extra siege attack and put one of them on, because along with range troop added range and siege troop added range bonus, those are things that you just cannot get anywhere except in skill books or that one ring that extends your siege range, which is why it's the most important gear in the game. And when it comes to those troop speeds, lots of people don't understand them. Some people just think it means you will march faster to the spot. So for example, if you are traveling 4 minutes to a boss and you have mounted troop speed on and you're using mounted troops, they will travel faster. That is not what the book is for. So I'm going to discuss what it's actually for. So I'm probably going to put one of them on that general. I have ground troop speed on Trajan. I also have ground defense and HP. I do not put attack on because attack for ground troops is actually just, it's very low, 7,000. That's not that high. Ground troop strength is their defense and their HP. They are just big meat shields. Now, what we're going to discuss here is what speed means. And if you look here, there is a speed option and there's a range option. These are two very important things for battle. So in Evony Age 1 and 2, there were battle simulators, and you could look at this. And every battle takes place at range 0. So troops generally don't battle until they get there. In Evony 1, the battlefield was 1,600 range in length. And if you look at siege are 2,100 in range. So that's where the battle will begin for siege machines. They will attack first because they can attack at when they reach 2,178 or further. I don't have 14s unlocked. Okay, so that they are tied, sorry. But they will get, when they get to their spot, they can hit ground 0 from a range of 2,178. And the next troops to attack, well, the next troops actually to attack would be the T-12s. They're at 1,867 range. So they will not attack while these guys are attacking. What they will do is crawl up each battle round. So after all of these guys fire at 2,178, these guys will climb up the next round at 75 speed. So they will move up 75 spots. So now they'll be at approximately 1,950. And the next round they'll be at 2025. Meanwhile, these guys are continuing to attack. Then they'll be at 2,100. And these guys will keep attacking. Then they'll be at 2,175 and they'll roughly attack now. So that's 4 rounds it takes them to attack while the 13 and 14 siege are attacking. Now, when we get into troop speed, where it's actually more beneficial, or where you actually can place it, so let's look at archers. So archers have a speed of 100 and a range of 500. So while those siege are attacking at 2,100, these archers are each round moving 100 spaces with their speed until they get to range 500, and then they can attack the zero ground area. So basically, since 500 is 1,600 spots less than Siege, they're going to have to wait 16 rounds before they start to attack if they're traveling at a speed of 100, before they can then get into range to attack at the zero area, battle area. But if we go to the two that it actually matters for, so let's look at Cavs. They have a range of 50, so they have to get all the way to 50 before they can attack. Luckily, they're fast, and they move at a speed of 600. So if you're facing T12s, Siege, that means in 5 rounds at 600 speed each, because when the battle starts, they are too far out. They're going to start out at 2,200 ranges away, if we say that's yards or feet, whatever it is. So the Cavs are going to start the battle at 2178 range, but they can't attack from there. They have to get to range 50, and they're going to travel 600 per round. So after round 1, they're going to be at 600. And then round 2, they're going to move up to 1,200. Round 3, 1,800. And they can start to attack at this. Which Siege would that be that would be at 1,800? So T11s. So in round 3, they can start to attack the T11s. In round 4, they can start to attack the 12s and 13s and 14s. But if you add that 20% skill book for speed, then these horse are going to move, well, they're going to move 20% of 600. So that is going to be 1,200 more. So now they're going to move at a speed of 720 to get into battle speed. So that means by round 3, they will now be able to attack if those where those sieges are already to be able to attack at ground 0. That's how speed books work. Now, if you look at ground troops, they're even slower. They have a range of 50. So they also have to get to range 50 to be able to attack. And they only travel at 350 speed. So 350, right? So if you do a math equation of 2178 divided by 350, let's do this, 2150 divided by 350, that is 6.14 rounds. So that's going to take 7 rounds for them to get to range 50 so that they can attack. But if you do, and add that 20%, they're now, that does not work. How did that not work? Times 1.2, 420. So they're going to travel at 420. So if we do, that's 5 rounds now, roughly. So they're going to get there a full round faster. They're going to get there almost a full round quicker to get into battle. So if you add a speed book to your ground troop or your horse troop, they're going to enter battle 1 round sooner, rather than sitting there as sitting ducks, no pun intended, getting hammered from the other troops. So it's an advantage you can't get anywhere else in the game. So it just comes down to what you want to do with your army. I think speed books are very important. I have had them on horse mounted troops before. I do not have one on it yet, but when I get I'm waiting for Martinez, and when I get him or another really good ground general, I'm going to put the speed book on. Let's just do a quick look and see if anyone else has these speed books on. Yes, so this is probably the top player on our server. He has ground troop speed on his general. So in my opinion, he knows what he's doing. She does not have it on. she added siege range onto Trajan, but she must use him for different things. This is one of the top defenders. He is a big mounted defender, so he has mounted HP and mounted troop attack. He does not have it on. This guy's also pretty good. He has the same as me. He has the extra siege attack along with the ranges. So this guy also does not have it on. Hannibal, this is a top mounted general. He does not have it on either. So you can see it's a book that I believe not many people totally understand. I'd like to see what Dirk has on his... Yes, he has ground troop speed and mounted troop speed on his wall general. So I totally agree with him and think this is so important to have. And I'm definitely going to be adding one of them to my defense. I may add both and get rid of the archer range just like him. You cannot get rid of the siege range. This is just so important to go with this siege range ring because you need it, because that is the starting point of the battle. Whoever starts firing first, the battle starts. So what your range is. So you want your furthest range to be happening, and that's siege. But yeah, so this guy understands. I might have to shoot him an email. I've already sent him one email about something he does with one of his generals. With Scipio, I was asking why he chose some of the gear he did when deciding between Achaemenid gear and Ayres gear. I might have to ask him another question. He seems, he speaks English, so obviously he's from North America or England or Australia, I assume. Like he speaks it as a first language, so very easy to talk with him. So I think I might have to ask him some questions about that, but it will basically just confirm exactly what my thoughts are. And this is the top player from our former server, and he does not believe in it, apparently, or doesn't think it's important enough. But yeah, so that's my advice on how those books work. They're very misunderstood, and those two books are very important. So this is Genghis, server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.